Okay, this is Lou. We're going to start a new project today. The project we're going to do is going to be called Name with a Photo. So it's going to be using typography in Photoshop and then placing a photo inside the type. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to File and New and make a piece of paper, a canvas. And we're going to make sure this is on inches. A lot of times it defaults to pixels. Make sure it's on inches. And we're going to make a 10 by 8 piece of paper. 300 resolution for printing purposes, RGB color because we're working with, of course, a computer monitor. And I'm going to call this Name Type Photo. Okay. So now we've got an 8 by 10 piece of paper. Now if you see rulers or you don't see rulers, to turn those rulers on and off, we could go under View and put rulers on, but that's Command R on a Mac. So Command R puts rulers. It's kind of nice to have rulers because then you can bring lines to work with. These are called blue lines. They're unprintable lines. They will not show up if you print. These lines can be brought right off the ruler itself and placed exactly where you'd like them. You can bring more than one line off. You can bring several lines if you'd like. So these are blue line prints, unprintable lines. Okay, they're photo blue lines. Now, so photo blue being no photo. When it comes to, if you don't want to see the lines, you can always go View and just uncheck Extras, and the lines are not there. But if you hit View and Extras, there's the lines. If you want to put them back away, just with the Move tool, just put the lines back onto the ruler and there, put it back away. Okay, so I'll leave a few lines on there to work with today. All right, I'm going to go to the Type tool. Okay, and then I'm going to make a type that's 150 point size. Now, if you want to change the different point sizes, you've got defaults up to 72 point, but that's not usually large enough to do some of these large graphic designs. So at 72, if I just click once, I'm going to type my last name here. It's not real large. Now to bring that larger, of course, we can just click straight on the letters and highlight them. And up here we can change it to, let's say, 100 point, and it makes it larger. Another thing neat about Photoshop is if you click right beside here, you'll see a little hand show up right here. I'll circle. And then you can bring your type up larger just by dragging back and forth, back and forth. Okay, I'm going to bring my name up nice and large here, about 150 point, or I could just type in 150 point, Move tool, because I'm going to move it around. Now, of course, it's made a brand new layer if you look at my layers palette down here. Now, this is called the character toggle. The character toggle looks like this, and you find it, well, I'll put it away so you can find it again. It actually is up at the top when you go to your Type tool. When you click on your Type tool, it's this toggle right here. It's called the character toggle. So I'm going to click on that, and it shows up. Now you can place that character toggle anywhere you'd like. Sometimes it's nice just to tuck it away here above your layers and different things that you work on. So I'm going to leave that there, but I'm going to put it here so we can really use it more. I'll move my canvas over. In this case, though, I want to find a nice chunky font that we're going to be able to use to put a photo or hide a photo inside it. Okay, or hide it, put it in there so it looks really cool. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use Helvetica Bold for this. I'm going to use Impact. Impact, a nice, big, thick type font. Of course, hit the check mark to finish that off, or hit Enter. That commits your transform or your type sizes. And of course, we can always go Command T and do some stretching out if you would like. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to do is go get a photograph. So I'm going to grab just a sample photograph. I'm just going to go to File and Open. And I'm going to find a sample here. I should be able to find some Photoshop samples here. I'm going to grab the waterfall. It's a nice photograph. Now it's open in Photoshop. I need to select this. And if I want to select the whole thing, there's two ways to do that. I could use the Selection tool and click just a part of the photograph. Or if I want the whole thing, I can hit Command A, which will select the entire photograph. Then I want to hit Command C, which is to copy inside the selection. Control C for a PC, but Command C. I'm done with that photograph. I'll just minimize it, but I'm really pretty much done with it. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I need to highlight my letters. To highlight your letters, you can simply go to your magic wand, click on the letter, and it grabs the letter. Now if you want to grab more than one letter, or in this case pixels, hold down Shift, click on each one, and you've got your letters selected. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I want to make a brand new layer. So I'm just going to click New Layer. So we've got it's a blank layer. And I'm going to turn off my Crandall name layer. So now I've got just my name in a selection. I call these marching ants. It looks like they're all marching around going to the picnic. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the photo inside the selection. So we just go to Edit, and then we're going to go to Paste, Special, and Paste Into. The photo now is stuck inside my name. Excuse me. So Command T, I can stretch this photo and make it larger. Command T is for free transform. And then hit the check mark, and you can still move it around. My photo now is stuck inside the selection. Now let's take a look at our layers palette here. And I'll go ahead and pull the layers palette if I can here away. Let's look at this layer palette a lot closer here. I now have what's called a mask right here. It's got a mask with my name, and there's the photo that's hidden back behind, or is put into the mask. So right now I am actually on the photograph. See how it's highlighted? Now I'm on the mask. Okay. So if I click on the mask and take my move tool, I'm moving my name around, the photo is stuck. If I click on the actual photo, now the photo is moved, the name is stuck. Or if I click in between the two, it links them. Now I can move those wherever I'd like. Okay. Unlink it, and then I can move one or the other. Okay, so that's really nice. Now it looks like it automatically made a new layer for me anyway. So I made this new layer, but I really didn't need it. So if I want to get rid of a layer, I can just click on it and hit the delete key, the big, large delete key on my keypad. Okay. And again, my name's back there. It's in black. So if I want to use it again, I can use it as a drop shadow. I can turn the opacity down of that shadow. I can just use it however I'd like. I can color it, I can change it, or I can just turn it off. Now I'm going to go back on this layer here, and we can add layer styles. Now the layer styles are right here. It's called Effects. Okay, so when I hold over it, it's called Add a Layer Style. So to this layer, I'm going to add some style. Effects. I'm going to do a stroke around it. Well now, if I look at stroke, I'm going to bring this over so you can see what I'm talking about here. I can change the size of the stroke. So I'm right on the word stroke. Now when you make layer styles, don't click just directly on the check mark on the little square box. Click on the name out here itself. Then you've got more options. Drop shadow. Size. Cool. I can even add maybe a bevel emboss to this. I can go down here to color overlay. Lost my photo completely. That's not a fun one. But bevel emboss sure is. Here, emboss that. And that photo's still stuck in there. So if I move it around, see the photo can be still moved around. It's just adding style to the layer. If you look at my layers, it's just adding style to this, the entire layer. Okay. Now, if I would like to do some really fun things to this, I can hit Command T, which selects the entire photo. Oops, I've got to do this. I've got to link them first. So I make cancel. See the cancel mark? I've got to link them together so I can move it around, the whole thing around. And I'm going to hit Command T, which is for transform. Now, if you look up here, this is warping the transform. So it's warping the whole thing because I've got them linked. When I hit the check mark, it finishes off that link. So let's say I've got like that for the top of my stationery or whatever, and I've got a photo stuck inside. Oh, by the way, the photo we can turn up and down on its opacity. Make it lighter. Well, it makes the whole thing. That's making the whole layer lighter. Lighter's pretty cool. Okay. So there's a lot of fun things you can do with just adding your picture inside your name. Okay. Now, of course, when you're finished, you would just go to layer at the top. Flatten image to flatten all the layers together, so it's one. It's going to say discard this hidden layer because maybe I've got this hidden with the eyeball there. Yep. And then I could go to File, Save As, and just make sure it say the same. Yep, I want to say the same. Now, when something's named Photoshop Document, that means its only program can be in Photoshop. Okay. But if I would like to send this off to a printer, JPEG would be a nice idea, or a PDF format would be nice. But I'm thinking JPEG would be the best, just to send this off to, say, an email or whatever. And every time you get a JPEG option, it's best to hit large if you're going to print anything. If you're just going to put it on the internet, probably medium size is fine. But let's just do large. Okay. Now, if you don't want all this white around it, you can always use your crop tool. Come in here and crop your image. Now, in the past, I had 16 by 20 picked here. But if you have zeros placed in here, like I don't want a crop, you can actually delete those. Oops, I'm going to need a value. Let's just take it out totally. And then, no, don't. Now you can crop that whatever size you want. You can just say, I want to crop that, and then you hit enter, and it's cropped. So that's a quick way to do some cropping. And of course, I can go to View, turn off the extras. I can hit Command-R, turn off the rulers, and you've got a fun design. Okay, that's it for today.